The nafs is basically, I guess you could call it your personality. That's the mystical term in the Quran describing your personality. The ruh is the amr of Allah. It's the command of Allah. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. It's the command of Allah. The ruh is already submitted to Allah, even of the kafir. His ruh has already submitted. He denies his ruh. He denies his, I guess if you want to call it soul, he denies it when he does kufr. He buries it, he kills it, he kills his fitrah. You know, that's why Allah calls their hearts dead. When the fitrah has been killed, the heart is now dead. But let's talk about this nafs guy. Allah Azza wa Jal put things inside it, certain things Allah put inside the human nafs. What are some things Allah put inside it? Allah put desire, and He put guilt. For us to survive on the earth, we needed to have desire. Desire to eat, desire to build a house, desire to have a family, to have children. These desires are important for us because they are a part of how we live life. But these desires are like a horse, and you're the rider. And unless you have some kind of reins to yank at it, it'll go crazy. It'll go crazy. This nafs, if it goes out of control, then it starts violating. And by the way, this is all happening inside your heart still. I can't draw it anymore. But your qalb has desires, right? I told you heart has desires, nafs has desires. There's overlap now, right? What else was inside your qalb? Already pre-installed. There was light. Fitrah was already there. What else was pre-installed? Desires. The struggle between these two is your nafs. All happening where? Where's the battlefield? Your heart. Now, every time your desires win, who's hurt? Your fitrah is hurt. Feels bad. That's called guilt. It's injured. You feel something. It's called an-nafs al-lawwama. The overall state now is you are ashamed. Because something inside you is hurt. It's your fitrah that's hurt. It's your decency that's hurt. You insult somebody, even if you're a non-Muslim. You insult somebody, afterwards you feel a little bad or no? You do. That's your fitrah injured. Your desire, your anger, it won, your lower self won, and it took over. Now, we can't get rid of our desires because they're pre-installed. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ الْمُقَنطَرَةِ مِنَ الذَّهَبِ وَالْفِضَّةِ وَالْخَيْلِ الْمُسَوَّمَةِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ وَالْحَرْثِ. All that's already pre-installed, you can't get rid of it. You try to fight it, you won't be able to. Allah describes that in the Quran too. There are people who tried to fight it. We're not going to live by any temptations, any wants. Allah says, فَمَا رَعَوْهَا حَقَّ رِعَايَتِهَا. They were not able to give it due courtesy as it deserves to be given. They put too high a standard on themselves. It wasn't possible. They're there for natural reason. But you're supposed to keep them balanced. What I'm saying is there are wants. Your nafs wants stuff, your ruh wants stuff, and the qalb has to decide who gets what. It needs to constantly negotiate between these two sides. This is what I'm going to give I'm going to let it, enjoy this. But I have to stop over here, and I have to feed my ruh. Now, let's talk about your nafs. It is mostly concerned with your physical being. Physical or worldly being. This world being. Well, your fitrah is concerned with what? The unseen. It itself is from the unseen. When you do surgery inside a person, you won't find his fitrah. You won't find it. They might even attribute there's some parts of your brain that control this temptation and that temptation. They might even find something to the seen. But in the unseen, when it comes to our fitrah, our love of Allah, our belief in Allah, you can't find that in the unseen. And then these weird sci-fi shows will have like these radioactive transmitters when a person's about to die. See if the needle goes up. See if they can find a soul or a ghost or something. From the unseen. It's from another entity. Now, if this nafs is a physical being, its food, its wants, what it desires will come from where? The physical world. It wants beautiful clothing. It'll come from here. It wants delicious food. It'll come from here. It wants a beautiful spouse. It'll come from here. It wants a beautiful house. It'll come from here. It wants good drink. It'll come from here. It wants entertainment. It'll come from here. Everything it wants is here. But Allah didn't just create us with a nafs, He also created us with a ruh. The ruh is not from here. The ruh is not from here. It wasn't created in the belly of your mother. The nafs was there. But what was installed from outside and inserted? The angel comes and delivers something from the unseen. The ruh. It also gets hungry. It also needs to feed. But its food can't come from the seen world. Because it itself does not belong to the seen world. Where is its food going to come from? It came from above. Its food will come from above. It was delivered by an angel. Its food must be delivered by angels. What is its food if it's made of light? Light. Revelation is its food. Revelation is its food. Reminder is supposed to be reminder from revelation. Reminder from revelation every time is food for what? Your ruh. And so every time you eat, you feel tranquil or no? When you eat, feel, that was good. Allah says, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنَّ الْقُلُوبِ. Oh. But He didn't say تَطْمَئِنَّ الْأَرْوَاحِ. Right? He didn't say souls are tranquil. He said hearts are tranquil. But inside our hearts, there's more to the heart than the soul, right? There's more happening in there. So you know what Allah did in His mercy? He sent us a revelation that takes care of the needs of the ruh, yes. But at the same time, takes care of the needs of the nafs. Here's what you can eat. Here's what you can marry. Here's what you can do. Enjoy. Travel the earth. Ponder over all this stuff is for you. خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. I've created whatever's on the earth for you. Few things have been made haram. Here are a few things I want you to do to save your soul. Otherwise, enjoy this earth. I created your nafs. I want to feed it too. I don't want it to starve. Allah balanced both of those things in Revelation. And if both of those things, because, inside of myself there was a conflict. There was my nafs fighting against my ruh. And chances are who's going to win? Who's going to win? You know why? Because everything around me is in the scene. You know how they say out of sight, out of mind? Right? If something's not being reinforced, you can't think about it much. We're constantly being bombarded with the scene. So the soul will suffer. The ruh will suffer. Revelation comes and Allah put a regiment in our day where we cut ourselves off from the seen world and all we see is right in front of us and we concentrate and we try to revitalize our ruh every single salah. Bring it back to life. Resuscitate. Right? That balance that we could never have achieved is achieved by revelation. There's always conflict. And there's also a conflict inside us. You could easily put between body and soul. That's the lame, the common terminology. But what's going on inside us is incredible. And this struggle is happening when? You tell me personally, when is this struggle happening? Oh my God. All the time. All the time. When are you in need of this food then? الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. And they feed that ruh enough with dhikr. And it just starts seeing things differently. Its mind is no longer cluttered. It just starts seeing things. It just says, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. Somebody asked me, how come people are so knowledgeable and they're still messed up? I was like, well, that's easy. Where's knowledge? Here. Hopefully that knowledge helps down here. But if you're learning for the sake of learning, as opposed to learning for the sake of remembering, if you're learning it to advance your understanding, that does not mean your heart is getting cleaner. Your heart is getting cleaner when you're technically, actually engaged in the act of dhikr, and every time you do dhikr, actual dhikr, it's cleaning you out on the inside.